Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good to see you.
Hey,
Wendy can connect.
yeah. Yeah, Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight myself. There we go. So that not everyone is here on YouTube in gallery view. But hey, yeah, Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah.
Do you mind if while folks are coming in, I play a little pre-shul music?
Tonight's the music Shabbat, right?
Yeah.
Well, go for it.
All right. Little thematic music. Standing at the Sea, Mi Chamocha by Ellen Allard.
Standing at the sea, Mi Chamocha, standing.
We all grab our candles and our kiddush and our sweet cream and log in. Shabbat Shalom. We'll all enjoy a little pre-service music.
Singing and dancing, Mi Chamocha, singing and dancing, Mi Chamocha, singing and dancing, Mi Chamocha, freedom's on our way. Freedom, 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 freedom's on our way. They're coming up behind me, Chamocha. They're coming up behind me, Chamocha. They're coming up behind me, Chamocha. Freedom's on our way. Bound no more, me, Chamocha. Bound no more, me, Chamocha. Bound no more, me, Chamocha. Freedom's on our way. Freedom, 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 freedom's on our way. The sea she parts, mi chamocha. The sea she parts, mi chamocha. The sea she parts, mi chamocha. Freedom's on our way. We're walking through the water, mi chamocha. Walking through the water, mi chamocha. Walking through the water, mi chamocha. Freedom's on our way. Freedom, 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 freedom's on our way. We're on the other side, mi chamocha. We're on the other side, mi chamocha. We're on the other side, mi chamocha. Freedom's on our way. One God, mi chamocha. One God, mi chamocha. One God, mi chamocha. Freedom's on our way. Freedom, 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 freedom's on our way.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. First of all, can you hear me? Oh, good. Yay. So Shabbat Shalom to everyone here. Shabbat Shalom, Rich and Wendy and Steven and Sharon and Jules and Ruth and Taco and Jeff and Jerry. And I want to invite anyone who's here with us on YouTube to take a second and introduce yourself in the chat, sharing your name and where you're joining us from, so we can all come together as one big community tonight on Zoom, on YouTube, across our area, as again, we are here in our homes, bringing in Shabbat together in real time. Shabbat Shalom, it's wonderful to be here all together. This week is Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of song, where we read Parshat Beshalach, which includes the song at the sea. And so our pre-services logging in together, gathering music, is by Ellen Allard, Standing at the Sea, Micha Mocha. So I want to invite us into a little bit of singing tonight. I'm going to try my hardest, which I know is not always easy for me, to not talk between prayers this evening. I'm going to have minimal kavanot, minimal intentions, and instead keep the singing going from prayer to prayer, from psalm to psalm, as we journey through our liturgy in this spirit of Shabbat Shirah. Our mouths will be filled to overflowing like waters fill the sea, as the metaphor in our Shabbat morning service, Ilu Finu Malay Shirah Kayam. If our mouths were filled with song, with praise, as waters fill the sea, there would still not be enough. There still would not be words enough to expound that notion that we expressed at the sea all of these many millennia ago. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh feleh. Who is like you among all of those who are divine beings, O Adonai, great in praise, maker of miracles. And just as our mouths overflowed with those words, so many millennia ago, as we crossed into freedom, as we, at least as our mythic ancestors crossed the Sea of Reeds, so too do we lift up the mantle that these words represent as we continue to struggle for collective liberation, as we join together hand in hand, side by side with all of those who struggle for liberation from oppression, from narrowness, from Mitzrayim. That in that moment when liberation comes, may it be a liberation so sweet that our mouths overflow with freedom, that we lift up whatever instruments we've got with us. Perhaps they used to be instruments of toil, and now they're shaky, shaky timbrels and drums. And we lift them up in song and ecstatic dance. And that even though the struggle continues as we walk through the Midbar for the next 40 years or however long it is, that wilderness, that we take that time to stand and take stock of the moment and sing and dance with joy and exuberance. And so on this Shabbat Shirah, this Shabbat of song, may that be our kavanah, our intention, as we gather here this evening. So we'll begin as we light our Shabbat candles. And I that will be my only talking kavanah, I hope, this evening. Try to hold me to it. We'll see. Like, Rabbi, stop talking. Jeff knows I'm not going to be able to do it. But we'll start by lighting our candles together to bring in the light of Shabbat on page 5 of our Siddur. Would be nice if I had my matches with me. There we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Yadadadai, 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 Page 7, Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman Mishoch Avdecha El Ritzonecha Yarut Avdecha Kemo Aya Yishtachaveh El Mul Hadarecha Yeter Avlo Yedidutecha Mino Fetzuf Vechol Tamayai Yadadai 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 Last verse. Igalena ufros habibi alai etzukat shelomecha ta'ir eretz michvodecha nagila v'nismechavach ma'er ahuv Kiva moed minut bechoneni ki meholamaya yadadanai yadadanai Page 13, and we join with our Makela.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Elyon, Minei Melech, Malachei Kadosh, Baruch Hu, Malachei Shashan, Malachei Hashalom, Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Elyon, Minei Melech, Malachei Kadosh, Baruch Hu, Tzedchem Yeshashon, Malachei Hashalom,
Keep that beat going as we turn to page 25. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basaru Miyom Layom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basaru Miyom Layom Yeshuato, Basaru Miyom Layom Yeshuato. Page 37, we say Shabbat Shalom to Shelley Quigley and Paula Pavel, who've come in since the last time we said Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to see both of you guys, and Shabbat Shalom to everyone here. I don't know if anyone new has introduced themselves on YouTube, but please do share your name, where you're joining us from, so we can all come together and see who is here together with us as we bring in Shabbat in song. We continue on page 37, so we rise in spirit or in body for Psalm 29. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod v'hozai, Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Havul Adonai, Adrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Hamayim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai, Almayim Rabim, Kol Adonai, Bakoach, Kol Adonai Be'adar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et Arzei Halvanon, Vayarkidehem Kemo Egel, Lebanon, Vesirion, Kemo vein re'emim, ay, Kol Adonai chotzev lahavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai cholel hayadot, Vayechasof Yeharot, Uvechalo, Kulo Omer Kavod, ay, Adonai Lama Bu Yashav Yeshev Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz Leam Oyited, Adonai Yevarech Hashamu Vashalom, ay, Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, page 41. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, shamor v'zachor bedibur echad. Ishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet v'litchila la lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, woo, lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, top of 43, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, Merosh mikedem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat echila la lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, woo, lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, top of page 45, hitoreri, Kiva orech kumi uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla la lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, woo, Woo! Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Page 47, Yaminu small tifrotzi, Viet Adonai ta'aritzi, Al Yadish ben partzi, Venismecha venagi la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Woo! Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. We rise in spirit or in body as we turn to face the entrances of our homes, our dining rooms, our living rooms, our dens, our bedrooms, our studies. No Shabbat in the bathroom. And outwards towards one another as we greet the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha u'betzochola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Woo! Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela, la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Can be seated. Page 49. Mizmor shir lehom hashabbat, tov leodot lahadonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatcha baleilot, alei hasor ve'alei navel, alei gayon vechinor, mizmor shir lehom hashabbat, tov leodot lahadonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, ki semachthani Adonai befo'alecha, b'ma'aseh yadecha haranein. Magadlu ma'asecha Adonai me'od amku machshevotecha, mizmor shir lehom hashabbat, tov lehodod lahadonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, ulezamer leshimcha elyon. Page 51 at the asterisk. Tzadikat amar yifrach, keres balvanon yizkeh, shetulim bevet Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Od yenuvun beseva, deshenim vera'ananim yehu lehagid, ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo avlatavo. As we rise in spirit or in body for Baruch Hu on page 57, and as we bless, we notice that we once again are far more than a minion here gathered on YouTube and on Zoom. Here on Zoom, we have not just 10 people, but 10 screens. And Shabbat Shalom to the Harris family and to Esther and Tessa, who have joined since last we said Shabbat Shalom, and at least 4 or 5 different screens, at least who are logged into YouTube. And so as we rise in spirit or in body for Baruch Hu, here we are truly standing together in community, as we call one another to the core of our prayer, the Mariv service. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed, and the blessing gives us strength and makes our vision clear. And the blessing gives us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bivaro mariv aravim b'chokhma poteach sharim u'vitvuna mishaneh ha'yetim. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to light. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Umavir yomei v'layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Amari Varavim. And we keep singing as we turn to page 63. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amchavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokveinu, v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נהגי יומם ולילה, נהגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך לא תסור ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Kavanah music ahead of the Shema as we prepare to turn to page 65, and I'll share these words by Jeff Klepper. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Same tune and it keeps going. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Let's try that again. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 And we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue silently with one of the two biblical selections that follows. Adonai Elohechem Emet. And the song that we started out with today as our pre-services music, we'll also use our prelude to Micha Mocha. We're standing at the sea, Micha Mocha, we're standing at the sea, Micha Mocha, we're standing at the sea, Micha Mocha, freedom is on our way. They're coming up behind, Micha Mocha, they're coming up behind, Micha Mocha, they're coming up behind, Micha Mocha, freedom is on our way. Freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom is on our way. Let's try that chorus together again. Freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom is on our way. The sea she parts, Micha Mocha, the sea she parts, Micha Mocha, the sea she parts, Micha Mocha, freedom is on our way. We're walking through the water, Micha Mocha, we're walking through the water, Micha Mocha, walking through the water, Micha Mocha, freedom is on our way. Freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom is on our way. We're on the other side, Michamocha, we're on the other side. Michamocha, on the other side. Michamocha, freedom is on our way. Singing and dancing. Michamocha, we're singing and we're dancing. Michamocha, we're singing and we're dancing. Michamocha, freedom is on our way. Freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom. Whoa, freedom, freedom. Whoa, freedom, freedom is on our way. We're standing at the sea. Michamocha, we're standing at the sea. Michamocha, we're standing at the sea. Michamocha, freedom is on our way. On this Shabbat Shirah, as we reenact, remember, lift up in song all that our mythic ancestors sang as they walked through into that freedom. Oh, freedom, I want to invite you to put into the chat, just shout it out, something that you are lifting up as a freedom that you are working towards in your life, whether it's your own struggle, whether it's a collective struggle, whether it's as an ally to someone else's struggle, or something that you're appreciating in your own life that makes you a freer person, freedom from something, whether it be addiction or toxic relationship or a particular kind of food that just makes you feel so much better when you don't eat it, or maybe the freedom to eat something that just makes you feel better when you eat it. Chocolate, whoa, chocolate, chocolate. That as we sing Michamocha, we will celebrate and lift up all of those freedoms to which we hope we are crossing. Michamocha, 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 Bahelim Adonai. Page 79, by the way. Michamocha, 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 Nedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot Oseh, Vele Norah Tehilot Oseh, Vele Malchutecha Rauvanecha Bokei Hayam Lifnei Moshe Ze Eli Anu Ve'ameru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Vahed Adonai Yimloch Leolam Vahed Yai nai 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 Yai nai 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 Yai Ve'nemar Ki fad Adonai et Yaakov Ugalo miad chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Kol Yisrael. We again join with the voices of our Makela, page 79, or page 81, Hashkivenu.
Sukkah
And we rise in spirit or in body for Vishamru on page 85. Vishamru v'nei Israel et Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Page 91. Adonai. Ananana sfatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana sfatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agid teilatecha. Continue with the Amidah, silent for Shabbat evening at our own pace and in our own way. Yehu leratzon imrei fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Vegoali uleratzon imrei fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Vegoali. Shabbat Shalom. Misha Berach L'Cholim, our prayer for healing. Or Hadash, we usually use a melody by Debbie Friedman. Debbie Friedman, of course, is one of the people credited with revolutionizing American Jewish music, especially in both our camping and synagogue communities. She got her start as the song leader at Asrui, one of the Reform Movement's URJ camps, the one in the Midwest. All good things come out of the Midwest. Anyway, my family's from Kansas City. Anyway, nonetheless. And at least for me growing up as a liberal Jewish person, until I learned this melody to our healing prayer, I didn't even know that a healing prayer was part of Jewish tradition. I don't know for how many of you that's also true, those of you who grew up Jewish. That yes, there are definitely synagogues that chant on Saturday morning during the Torah service, the traditional Misha Berach L'Cholim, the traditional prayer for healing, Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Imotenu, right? That we should, bless all of the Cholim in the presence of the Torah. But it wasn't until Debbie Friedman opened up this liturgy with the melody that we use at Or Hadash and in so many places across the American Jewish community, that liturgy became accessible in a way that a prayer for healing should be one of the most accessible prayers in tradition. Because there's something about access to our liturgy that opening things up with a combination of Hebrew and English brings, access to feeling like you can tap into collective energy for healing, like we can when we sing together in harmony or in unison. And a 2-verse song that, like our liturgy, our traditional liturgy of the Saturday morning Torah service, allows for a pause in the middle to read names, right? Because that's a piece of the traditional bracha that kol hacholim b'kihila kedosha hazot, right? That all of those who are ill within this holy community then have their names read. Why do I mention specifically Debbie Friedman this evening? Because this woman who wrote so many of the melodies that made so accessible our music, her yortzeit happens to fall each year on Shabbat Shirah. Really, I didn't make that up. It was this week's Torah portion, I believe it was 11 or 12 years ago, maybe 12 years ago now, that we lost Debbie Friedman on this same week that we lift up the voice of Miriam Haneviyah, right? Miriam, the prophetess, who took up that timbrel with the other women on the shore and led the community in song, right? That week that we lift up the voice and the transformative power of music to bring liberation and to mark those moments also becomes a Shabbat that travels always with her. And so this week, as we get to our Misha Berach L'Cholim right now, and we join with the voices of our Makela, may we also notice all of the ways in which music itself not only brings access to our liturgy and perhaps access to spirituality, access to both the keva, the mechanics of prayer that one can get into so much more when one taps into the rhythm of the davening, but also the kavanah, the intention, and the way that music itself can bring healing. So our Misha Berach Lecholim, and please do share in the chat anyone whose names you're thinking of for healing this evening.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
This week at Or Hadash, we're thinking of and sending our hopes and our energy for healing and wholeness to Marty Applebaum, Doug Proudman, Rob Johnson, Glenn Upjohn, Patrick Gibson, Shlomo Ben Avram Vachaya, Dan Paulette, Eric Griffin Shelley, Dave Chapman, Hugh Stevenson, Fran Anderson, Jessica Tambor, and Andrea Abrams Herbert, James Alberts, Fran Anderson, Roberta Archibald, David Ash, Arden Berry and Carol Mueller-Bell, Rabbi Deborah Bowen, Robin Kupo, Frankie Deaver, Faye Fishman, Marcy Fish, Rich Davis, Joan Flaherty, Rhoda Gansler, Eric Gershman, Jonathan Giannini, Cordula Hamish, Chava Hurley, Sharon Cass, Moss Kaufman, Beverly and Howard Kaufman, Fran Kaufman, Richard Krasen, Elsie Lieberstein, Robert Mueller, Anthony Nero, Lisa Nicholson, Jennifer Riley and Thomas Pablo, Stan Pollock, Walter Roselle, Abby Rosenberg, Mike Rosenberg, Shelley Sanders, Willie Schneer, Bertha Schwartz, Marlene Sortino, Lloyd Suter, Howard Temple, Lynn Van Engel, Brandy Waslewski, Stan Weckstein, Millie Weissman, Grace Zangwell, Nailene Zeff, and Dorothy Berlin, and everyone suffering with COVID.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn to page 119 for Kiddush. I want to invite anyone who's celebrating something to shout it out for a l'chaim tonight. It's become our tradition to fill our Kiddush cups not only to overflowing with grape juice or wine, but also with the simchas, the joyful things that we're celebrating in community. So who has something to share tonight to celebrate? Just unmute yourself and shout it out. Or type it in the chat if you're on YouTube.
A new car.
Woo!
Amethyst. It's a purple car.
Nice. If it makes it to 13,000, after the first 13,000 miles, I'll give it a car mitzvah.
I love one. What goes that for?
A new purple wheelchair.
Hey, wait, more purple?
All right.
How about 13 miles on that one before the car mitzvah?
Right.
The wheelchair mitzvah.
Right.
Because there's no grape juice for the Kiddush. Anyone else with new purple things to celebrate? Purple wheels. Hazel's half birthday.
Somebody put it.
Happy half birthday to Hazel. Ooh, and a freezer full of soup for caring for friends. That's awesome.
I'm waiting.
And so
for
my
Hannah to bring
my
down the
kiddish
candy
helper is
'cause
here,
she
but
let
if
me
the
have
kiddish
one.
helper would help her
no-
get down her candy container, because my kiddish helper is angry at me, and here's why. We don't have any grape juice left in the house for kiddish this week, so it's only yucky wine. But I told my kiddish helper that if she helped with kiddish this week, she could get a sweet candy for kiddish. Extra bonus points if it's a grape flavored Jolly Rancher or other grape flavor. No hard candies. Never mind. No bonus points allowed for hard candies that take a long time to eat. But anyway, kiddish helper. All right. My kiddish helper is going to join us as together we join on page 119 for kiddish. You want to stand up too?
Yes.
In spirit or in body? Ooh, is it even grape flavored? Oh, that's exciting. It's a grape flavored chewy candy.
It's a chewy candy, but it's too hard for me.
Okay, well, hold it up so we can say kiddish over it. There we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam bo
Rain,
pariha.
coffin.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki eleinu karata v'otanu kidashta la'avodatecha v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu barucha
Adonai.
mikadesh ha-shabbat l'chaim. L'chaim. You can eat your candy now. Nothing wrong with a bit of grape candy for kiddish.
Guess what?
Does it taste like grape juice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah. Yes, it's important to brush your teeth after having your kiddish grape candy. Go brush your teeth, kiddo. We're going to say Aleinu on page 121.
But after
Aleinu l'shabech ladon hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit shenatan lanu torat emet b'chayei olam nata betochenu v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu notei shamayim ve'oseh haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim shchit. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. As we turn to page 131 for Mourner's Kaddish, we also turn in our hearts and our memories to those whom we've loved and lost in past days and weeks. We are in a period of Shloshim, excuse me, the month following the passing of Herta Kane, mother of Vivian Kane, and of Arnold Burson, father of Alan Burson, father-in-law of Cheryl Burson. We also, it's with sadness that we announced this week the passing of Pearl Goldman, mother of Jerry Goldman, mother-in-law of Jeff, grandmother of Adam and Ethan Chebbett Goldman. Funeral arrangements are still being confirmed with scheduling for for Pearl, but it looks like there will be a memorial service on Wednesday afternoon with Shiva by Zoom. The memorial service will also be by Zoom, but Shiva by Zoom on both Wednesday night and Thursday nights at 7 with a minyan at 7 p.m. But that will be officially announced after Shabbat. We're just waiting to make sure that everything is fine on all of the calendars. And so we are not yet saying Kaddish for Pearl, but our hearts go out and our deepest condolences to you, Jerry, and you, Jeff, and to your whole family. This week, we also mark the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Ray Epstein, father of Susan Driver, Max Friedman, grandfather of Lainey Moss, Sarah Shawn, aunt of Meryl Stern, Joseph Micharovsky, grandfather of Rachel Castro, Eileen Moss, sister of Stephen Starr, Carol Rosenberg, mother of Phil Rosenberg. That's Carol's first Yortzeit this week. So condolences to you, Phil, on reaching this milestone of your mom's first Yortzeit. Matilda Starr, mother of Stephen Starr, Natalie Marlowe, mother-in-law of Judy Marlowe, Michael Lipton, uncle of Joe Adler, and Eleanor Popke, mother of Cheryl Burson. And is there anyone else who's who's saying Kaddish or observing a Yortzeit for someone whose name is not on our list that you want to mention? For Kaddish. So I want to invite mourners and those observing a Yortzeit to rise in spirit or in body for mourners Kaddish, along with those whose tradition it is to rise for Kaddish. And we are, as we do each week at Or Hadash, also adding to our list all of those who have passed in the last week, last month, and the last 11 months to COVID-19, and also those who are victims of gun violence and domestic violence. Page 131. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh rabah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael v'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Ehei shmei rabah v'rach v'rach maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemeh kudsha. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Say shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing to all of us. And a Shabbat Shalom to Shelley Homer, who also is here with us on the YouTube channel. And I know that she's here not because she introduced herself, but because she asked if the grape flavored candy was keeping with the purple theme tonight. And you know what? It definitely can be. So Shabbat Shalom to Shelley and Guy. It's great to have you here tonight as well. Before we close with Adon Olam, I want to make a couple of quick announcements and messages. First of all, Shabbat continues at Or Hadash tomorrow morning with Torah study online on Zoom at 9 a.m., followed by a service at 10 a.m. And I believe Marty Jacobs is laning Torah this week. On Monday is our Martin Luther King Day of Service that has both in-person outdoor and online components at 10 a.m. And actually there will be, because there is some winter weather and very cold weather in the forecast for Monday, Barbara will send out a confirmation email on Monday morning by 6:30 a.m. to Jules, it's on the list, to confirm whether or not the in-person component is still going with the cold and snowy weather in the forecast. But so the current plan is at 10 a.m., People are invited to meet up at the Militia Hill entrance of Fort Washington State Park. Bring your gardening gloves, bring some clippers. There will also be, bring some rakes. There will also be materials there. We're going to do tree and trail maintenance and clean up both in general at Fort Washington State Park and specifically of some damage still from the tornado this past fall. So that's 10 to 11:30 a.m. And also Adeline Harris's mitzvah project. She's going to be tabling at Fort Washington State Park for folks to stop by her mitzvah project table and make a card that she's going to include in her delivery boxes that she's going to pack for delivery for the JRA this spring as part of her mitzvah project. So some trail maintenance and some good wishes cards at Fort Washington State Park, 10 a.m. on Monday. At 1 p.m., there's a lunch and learn on Zoom with on environmental justice as a Jewish imperative with Phyllis Blumberg, who's the Pennsylvania organizer for the Jewish Earth Alliance. It's going to be a really wonderful program. Again, 1 p.m. on Monday, MLK Day. And at 7 p.m., we are going to be joining together to be part of a big multi-community webinar, Tu B'Shvat Seder, sponsored by Interfaith Power and Light and the Jewish Earth Alliance. Join in Jewish community from up and down the East Coast for this wonderful event, 7 p.m. on Monday. And our Sado co-chairs want to remind us that the MLK soup making deadline is printed for this coming Monday, but it is being extended through the end of the month. And also for those who are unable to drive right now or who have any transportation challenges and cannot drive to and from the synagogue, get in touch with Vivian Kane. She is willing to come to you to either drop off soup containers or pick up soup to drop off. So be in touch with Vivian Kane. Also, if you hadn't guessed from our environmental justice theme for MLK Day of Service this year, our Tu B'Shvat falls on Monday, which also happens to be Martin Luther King Day. So on Sunday morning and Monday morning, our very own Jules will be leading a two-part Tu B'Shvat Seder during Minyan Hadash, which meets daily on Zoom at 8:15 a.m. And so, Jules, is there anything people should make sure they have with them for this on at 8:15 on Sunday and 8:15 on Monday?
If they want to participate in the eating and drinking, red and white, either wine or grape juice.
At 8:15 a.m., I hope it's grape juice.
Yes, I hope so too.
Right.
And
or chewing candies.
or they can join the 12-step Havurah.
Careful.
Or a fruit with a hard outside and a soft inside. Fruit with a soft outside and a hard inside, and fruit that's soft all the way through.
Nice.
And candles.
Fabulous.
Candles also.
Additionally, 1 week from this Sunday starts our winter adult education series. I'll be teaching a course called Making Life Richer Through Ritual. We're going to be exploring Jewish ritual and themes in ritual, as well as innovating new creative Jewish ritual. Making Life Richer Through Ritual begins 1 week from this Sunday on, I believe it's from 10 to 11 a.m. on January 23rd, January 30th, and February 6th. Registration is open. The link is in HaKesher. Also, next Shabbat morning, January 22nd, the Outdoor Havurah is having its first hike of the year. They'll be hiking at the Pennypack Ecological Restoration Trust. Doug is leading the hike, and contact Debbie Levin for more details. And last, but absolutely certainly not least, the Reconstructionist Movement Convention is coming up in March. It is co-chaired by our very own Lainey Moss. And it is March 23rd to 27th in Tyson's Corner, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. Currently, the plan is still to have both on-site and fully online participation. You can register either on-site or online now. Registration is very much open. And I believe that there's further information coming out in coming weeks in light of the Omicron variant. But currently the plan is still that there is going to be an in-person component to the convention, and vaccination is required for all who are in attendance physically at convention. And the COVID guidelines are on the website. You can just go to reconstructingjudaism.org, and the link is incredibly prominent to learn more about convention, whether on site or online. I really hope to see a lot of you guys at convention. And I know that some of you are already registered. And it'll be really, really wonderful. And what a proud thing to have Lainey as one of the organizers of the movement's convention. So really, any questions, ask Lainey. She actually knows more about it than me. And that's saying a lot. Are there any other messages or announcements that I may have forgotten? I think we got it. How's my New Year's resolution to keep announcements snappy and concise? Okay, keep me posted. Thumbs up from Sharon. All right, so we'll close tonight with Adon Olam on page 133. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Ve'acharei kichot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yihye betifara. והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיך לו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה. והוא אלי וחי גואלי בצור חבלי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום מקרא. בידו אפקיד רוחי בעת אישן והעירה ואם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Yasher
Shalom.
kochech.